Hey folks, this is BestInSlot. Welcome back to our Mods of the Week Spotlight series for Jurassic World Evolution 2 and to this dead Brachiosaurus. Before we dig into why this is here, very quick disclaimer, mods can cause problems with your save file. You'll probably be fine, as I keep saying. Just don't chop and change mods too much on an existing save. But by and large, game's finished updating, you won't have any problems. If mods do cause problems, it's not my fault, it's not the mod maker's fault, and it's not Frontier's fault. As Modius is here, but he's weeping silently in the corner because he's very sad about the dead Brachiosaurus. The Brachiosaurus is actually asleep, but it's part of the introduction for the... Oh, hello. It's part of the introduction for the first mod we're going to take a look at today, and I wanted to do a little bit of a setup. So if we just swing down here, they are caught in the perfect position. There we go, right there. So this is the brand new Chaos Theory Suchomimus mod by That One Glitch with help from Viral Cyclops. The hippo we've seen before. This is one of the hippos from Josuba's Hippo pack. It's not quite as big as I would like, but we've all been there. But you know, we're here just I just wanted to round out the scene a little bit, make it feel a little bit more like... There you go, like Chaos Theory. So this is a really cool little cosmetic pack. It adds 3 new skins to the Suchomimus, and of course the skin is designed after the skin from Chaos Theory, and they've done a really good job bringing it into the game. That Chaos Theory Suchomimus was the most exciting part of Season 2 and has the best design of the animals in Season 2. It's really cool to see all that coloration and patterning, and this little bit, I wonder if this is on purpose, but this looks like a skull. It's probably not a thing, but either way, so often our larger theropods, although very rarely the Suchomimus, so often our larger theropods get really boring coloration, so it was just really cool to see one that's so bright and vivid like this, and as you can see, it looks beautiful. It's been brought over into Jurassic World Evolution 2 really, really well, and the hippo bounds around happily. The hippo knows it's in a spot of trouble. Now, this is a modded hippo, and I don't know if these two would naturally hunt each other, but I think we should see them fight if there's a possibility to see them fight, so I'm just going to make some changes. Okay, it wasn't really working. They didn't have any desire to fight, so I've set, using Kai's toolbox, I've set the Suchomimus to hunt the hippo. I'm not really sure what's about to happen, if I'm honest. This may well just break the game. No, it seems that they just can't fight at all, but they look beautiful together. It's kind of like an oddball cop comedy, the hippo and the Sucho. Yeah, unfortunately, they're just... you just don't care, do you? Just waddling around. The Sucho's like, I want to kill it, I want to fight. I just can't for some reason. So as you can see, I've set it to hunt it, so it's going to keep trying to hunt it, and it's going to get there and think, wait a minute, how do I actually do this? Okay, guys, I'm going to leave you to it, but there you go, a beautiful Suchomimus mod. I'll just show you the other 2 skins quickly as well, because as I say, there are a couple other variants of this. This is just the one that I love the most. So these are the other 2 options you've got. You've got this brown one with the sort of the green underbelly there, and you've got this sort of grey one with the crimson instead in the patterning. I can't remember, I think that they show up in some context, maybe, but obviously this orange one is far prettier and much more prevalent in the show, but it's cool that we've got a little bit of variety. You could make, you know, a full-on exhibit like this. It doesn't have to be Chaos Theory themed. If you just wanted a beautiful alternate skin for your Suchomimus, that is now a possibility. I love that the hippo is so nonchalant about the whole... It's not even running away. It's just waddling around. Not a care in the world. Beautiful. We do have some other mods to check out as well. We've only got 1 new species today, but it looks fantastic. Let's check it out. So this teeny tiny little thing is Eoraptor by Gojira Chief, and this little thing is actually not a theropod. Well, we'll talk about that, I suppose, but it's a small basal sauropodomorph. It looks fantastic, really beautiful looking dinosaur. There you go, lovely little hand of Satan erupting from its nasal passage. Silveria, lovely little manicured fingernails there. Nice little design, really cool looking dinosaur. A small basal, come back here. A small basal sauropodomorph, and one of the earliest known dinosaurs ever, hailing from the late Triassic of Gondwana. Now Gondwana is now what is known as northwest Argentina. It has leaf-shaped teeth for vegetation. You'll see it in things like Iguanodon and other herbivorous dinosaurs where they've got leaf-shaped teeth because it's really good for shredding vegetation. Spooky. But it also has other teeth. It's got a variety of different teeth shapes designed for other food sources, meaning Eoraptor is probably omnivorous. Now, I said at the outset that it's a sauropodomorph probably, but that has been a source of some debate, even recently, even still now in the last few years up for debate, with a 2017 paper placing it as the earliest member of the, at the time, burgeoning Theropoda. Most people do seem to agree with the sauropodomorph analysis, though. That does seem to be the scientific consensus. That's where it's placed at the moment, but there's still a chance it could go somewhere else. But there does seem to be more and more papers placing it as a sauropodomorph, which is of course really interesting, because this is as basal as a sauropodomorph would get. So sauropodomorphs started off bipedal and eventually of course became quadrupedal and became the sauropods you now think of, like with our dead Brachiosaurus earlier on. But this is how they started, and as we've seen with other sauropodomorphs, the more derived they get, the less basal they get, things like Plateosaurus, then you start to see these front limbs extend. They've got the long neck still. You see the neck is still very long even at this point in time. But it's things like the front limbs will extend, the neck will get longer, the head gets smaller. All these sort of traits that would become familiar in later sauropods are still there a little bit in this early stage, but less so depending on how basal you get. It's all very interesting. And this is a pretty... yeah, I don't know, it's a really cool looking little dinosaur. It's interesting that it looks like this little raptor-esque theropod, but in fact it is a sauropodomorph. It's got that long curved neck, which is really the main thing you would say has come from what would later be the sauropods in general. But yeah, really cool mod by Gojira Chief, a really interesting dinosaur in history. As with all the other mods today, you can check it out in the link in the description down below. So, here we have the book from the Lost World Jurassic Park, and here we have the book from the Lost World Jurassic Park. Unironically, this is the Lost World Jurassic Park T-Rex mod by the 5 Deaths, Non, and Viral Cyclopes. And I'm just going to release another set of Rexes, and then we'll talk about it. And over here we've got the doe from the Lost World Jurassic Park, and we've got the doe from the Lost World Jurassic Park. Allow me to explain. This mod brings in some new cosmetics. Brings in some new cosmetics for our Rexes. It brings in a animatronic model, and it brings in an ILM model for the Lost World Buck and Doe. The animatronic is of course based on the animatronic, and the ILM model is basically the 3D model that they used for the CGI scenes in the film. Now you would think they would relatively match up, but I think you can always see, like even now, that there are some fairly noticeable differences in coloration, in morphology, in everything basically. And it's hard to do a comparison, so I'm going to just bring up an image direct from the mod page here so you can see the fairly vast differences from the pairings. I believe that the two closer to us on the screen right now are the animatronic versions, and you can see that they've got different jaw shapes. It's kind of squarer at the back, it's much less rounded, that they've got more vivid colour, and they've got less terrifying eyes as well. That seems to be the main difference between these two animatronics and the CGI models. And interestingly, that's the same sort of difference that's actually quite prevalent in Jurassic Park in general. If you think back to the Velociraptor from Jurassic Park 1, the original animatronic actually has tons of colour. It's really colourful, it's really patterned. But you don't really see it in the film because the animatronics of the raptors weren't really used in the film, especially in a full body way. Most of the raptor scenes are the CGI scenes. And the CGI model, it might just be the lighting and the technology at the time, but the CGI model feels a lot less colourful. The patterning, the striping, you really just can't see it at all in the film. And the same is sort of going on here in that the CGI model is much less vivid, much less patterned, much less noticeably patterned than the animatronic is. So these are directly modelled on the animatronic and the ILM model. As I say, one of them was even 3D scanned to make it perfectly accurate. For those of you, look, I've done so many mods like this. So many mod spotlights on various Rex redesigns. I don't want to harp on about it too much. But if you're looking for film accurate and both versions, then this is a really cool mod. As I say, should be very accurate to the film. Terrifying eyeballs, lovely stuff, and yeah, the 5 deaths, and like continue to bring out some really pretty darn cool mods. Right, one more to go. Somebody is a very big fan of Gallimimus. Is that? Do you want to? Anyway, someone's a really big fan of Gallimimus. This is expanded Gallimimus by Viral Cyclops, commissioned by Sinistros. And I'm just going to try to find a cool pattern one. There we go. And basically what it does, it adds 2 new variants to the Gallimimus, each of them with like 32 skins and patterns. So if you ever wanted tons of variety for your Gallimimus, this is very much the mod for you. And as you can see, we've got this whole brand new skin pattern with this sort of scratched striping and the extra striping under there, and then this big pattern along here, and also erupting down there along the tail. And it comes in, you know, a million of different colours, and you can get a pattern version. Oh, this very cool one here. Yo, just tons of variety for our Gallimimus. And as I say, it comes with 2 variants. You've got a Jurassic World one, but you've also got one that's modelled on the 93 Gallimimus. The 93 Gallimimus only has the 93 Gallimimus skin typically, and it's got this kind of splotchy, it's kind of brown, it's got this splotchy white patterning. I really like this one here, let me just click that. So this one basically expands the existing skin with tons of variety, and it looks, again, really cool. So if you ever wanted an exhibit full of 93 style Gallimimus, 93 style Gallimimuses, you can now do that, but have a ton of variety in the coloration at the same time. So seems like a, yeah, really cool upgrade. Sinistros clearly a big fan of the Gallimimus, but I think this in particular, the Jurassic World expansion, looks pretty great, but this one having that variety on a skin that usually only has 1 colour pattern combination is a really cool expansion to what we have in the game at the moment. Tons of variety, 32 different skin colours, 32 different pattern colours. That's it's a lot of combinations. I'm not doing maths on that, but it's a lot of combinations. Even though you're not Lux, you're so bright that you kind of look Lux anyway. Anyways, let me swap back there. So that is the expanded Gallimimus by Viral Cyclops and commissioned by Sinistros. Tons of variety for your galleys. And if you're a big galley fan, which who isn't, right, then this is the mod for you. Okay. That's it for today. So we've seen the Chaos Theory Suchomimus, we've seen a beautiful new Eoraptor, we've seen some pretty fantastic film accurate Lost World Rexes, and of course we've seen the expanded Gallimimus. I've also covered the 5 deaths. They did the same thing for the original Jurassic Park T-Rex as well for the first film, so you can go back and check that out as well, you know, and if they do a Jurassic Park 3 one, suddenly that's the original trilogy all nicely covered. From me and these lovely new dinosaurs, thank you very much for joining me. I will link all these down below. Go give them a download, give the mod makers loads of love because they deserve it. Doing this for free, keeping the game going, even though it's dead for a year now. You know, it's good stuff. Thank you very much for joining me. If you enjoyed the video, do throw me a like, and I'll see you lovely folks very, very soon. Thanks for joining me. Cheers much of as always. Bye-bye.